Alright, this will be the last video of this. Chapter 4 is pretty short, whilst Chapter 5 is like half the run, essentially. Mainly a lot of cutscenes and stuff. So I'm going to go through. I'm just going to run through the start of Chapter 4 normally here, because it's, very basic. But we're going to head all the way across the other side of the street. Activate this, and I'm going to run it all the way back. It's worth bearing in mind that I'm currently playing on a file which has more upgrades than you would at this point. Just ignore that. This will still be able to show you a lot of the strats. If you want to look at specifically like places where I personally use flow, stuff like that, then you can check the record video. But you want to dash into that cutscene there. It's just like a couple of steps before like that sign. I'm going to run straight past here. You could probably want to preserve a dash on here somewhere. You don't want to really use it up. We'll just immediately dash up. Here you can grab some food and stuff. That's on this table if you're low on health. I'd probably recommend doing that. And a couple of slugs. I'd recommend picking up 5 slugs in that room because you're going to need them later. Make sure you pick up all the slugs that you can. It'll be about 5. You should have gotten 1 earlier from the end of Chapter 1. No, end of Chapter 1, halfway through Chapter 2. Where you pull the switch to make the pipe come down. There's one on the desk. You only need 4 from that room. And you flow all the way up to the top. You can use a save reload to get the flow back there. So it'll be a slow. You want to warp into this slow cutscene. Mash E on like the bottom part of the chair that you sit on, rather than the top part. It's just easier to sit down. Immediately look down and grab that. I like to warp across here. Sometimes like that, you kind of literally go for the ceiling. While you want to grab health, because there's a lot of dudes here. Run along. Out here. I'm going to go into this house next to it. I'm going to grab an upgrade. Usually, you'd want to put this into ability. But since my ability is already maxed out, I'm just going to put it in stamina. Put this into ability. They'll let you more flows, which is a good movement option. You have flow there, flow underneath that crawl bit, faster than crawling through it. Yeah, this code is 523. But sometimes you might have to wait here, because this area is very prone to not loading properly. So I'd maybe, if your computer is prone to not having areas load properly, I'd right here. So I'm going to make a save here. From this point onwards, I'm going to show you 2 routes, because the out of bounds section here, it does saves about 30 to 40 seconds, but it's very tricky and finicky. And it doesn't save that much. I'll show it, then I'll show you the inbounds route if you want it. You don't want to do this. I'm going to run into this cutscene. Crouch. Skip. I'd break this, and I'd recommend making a save here. Actually, I may as well override my save. Make a save here, and we're going to do a type of clip called a vent clip. So what we do is we're going to press right click to flow, then press space like almost immediately afterwards. And this should allow us to be stood up inside of a vent. So I'm going to flow, press space, and I messed up the timing. Flow space. Why is this not working? Oh, sorry. I said that the complete wrong way around. Hang on, let me reload the save so I don't die in here. Sorry, you don't want to jump. Sorry, you want to jump then flow. Press space and then press right click, and your head should pop through the ceiling here. For all these dashes, you can make a save and reload it to get your dash back instantly. I happen to have really good dash cooldowns, so I will just... Oh, sorry, flow cooldowns, so I'll just show you the full thing. So once you get your flow back, you want to kind of line it up so your circle reticle is like in between these two, so it like sits in the corner. You're going to flow up to this and you're going to hold back so you land on top of this vent entrance. But then you're going to look up and warp up to the top. You're going to kind of carefully follow the edge of this collision. So you get to here, flow across to this big fan, jump onto the edge of this room, up to this point. That'll be a point where you have to jump up, going. Then here you can either running forwards, dark, or you can like kind of jump onto this ledge instead. Either one works. Follow this ledge along, get on this fan, then you can walk across this entire room. So you get to here. You want to jump to this corner, and then follow the room around. This, and for this section, you can either like do a couple of jumps between these corners, like this, or from like this corner, or even this corner if you're brave enough, to flow straight to here, to like this thatched roof. So this is the trickiest part. You want to stand roughly above the door on this side. I'd highly recommend making a safety save for this. I make a safety save here in runs because it's so awkward. You know, look over to this dark space. There's no real cue, like visual cue. You just need to jump and kind of pray that you get the right angle. You're gonna sprint, jump, dash. So after you've flowed, you want to hold W until you can land. You should just land on nothing. Again, make a save and reload the save to get your dash back. Then kind of warp over here. You should land on this ceiling. And then again, reload your save and you can warp up here. Run across the ceiling. I recommend coming down to this side of the wall because it's a bit easier to run on. Across here. Then you jump into this corridor. I didn't jump very well. Corridor and you're done. Yeah, you straight here and you press E on this to end the chapter. So I can show like a full run through of what it looks like done fast. Bearing in mind that I'm not doing any save reloads to get dashes back. Yeah, so it's really not that bad once you get the hang of it. You can do it fairly quickly. You know, minus like load screen stuff if you're reloading for your saves. Or reloading for your flows. Alright, if you don't feel like doing that, I'm going to do a very low commentary version of just running through here. So because you go in here, you use flow whenever you get it to walk through the vent. Faster than walking. And also using like the crouch spam thing. We hold shift and spam C. Once you get to here, don't use your flow anymore. I want to keep it. The keepers aren't really a big deal, so we're going to walk past one. We're going to quickly crouch and then use flow. And you should get under that. Pull this switch. Come out here, you should get flow back around now. Flow through here. I'm going to go around this side of these big containers. We'll use flow about here. Or you can save it for going through this. It's safer. Grab this. Through. Save your flow here because you're going to need it to go up. Move on to here and then flow up. Talk to Heidi. Might take a second because you'll probably have aggro. Press E to dismiss that. You want to jump and then sprint off because you're probably really low on stamina from running here. Or jumping again because you'll just rest your stamina. We're going to immediately swing left as soon as we get in here. As you pull a bit of a U-turn. You can probably flow about here. You'll get it back. What's this? Pull the switch. You can flow up the top. Get this switch. And it's just a straight walk to the end. Where the skip would have led you. You see, it doesn't save that much time. You know, about 30, 40. But it is worth it. And we go straight to chapter 5. But chapter 5 is by far the longest chapter in this game. You know, like the prologue's like, 7 minutes. Just under 7 minutes. Chapter 1's about 7 minutes. Chapter 2 and 3 together is like, again, about 7 minutes. They're using the out-of-bound strats together. Chapter 4 is like 4 minutes. This is a whole, like, 17, 18 minutes. It's long. There, you're going to press E to stand up, come grab the wrench. At this point, you won't be able to use flow, so, you know, just your regular sprint spam. Keep your sprint up. A lot of cutscene skipping here. Run up here, immediately stand here and lock towards the table. You need to be running this way. Skip the cutscene. Spammy on the table. Skip this cutscene. Quickly walk backwards into this. Cutscene again. So we're going to run here, we're going to walk up the stairs, we're going to make a save, and we're going to reload the save. Which is the one time in this game which skips Wilson being an absolute slowpoke at walking. So here, save, reload the save. You can make spammy whilst you're waiting, and Wilson be here. You won't be able to sprint and jump for a bit, that's because the game still thinks you're in this cutscene with this Wilson here. You know, Wilson's stunt double.
You're here at last. It's so exciting. Finally, you're with us.
But once he reaches where he should be able to sprint and jump again. We're just going to run to the end of where Betty usually goes to, and we'll have a little bit of downtime here. Sit down if you want. Alright, so when Betty's finally here, we're going to stand here. Do like a trigger to like open the door.
Here we are.
You need to go a certain distance into the room. I like to stand about here. So when you skip the cutscene, you see the autosave comes up. That means you've walked far enough into the room to talk to Betty again. Read this. And then we're just going to jump straight into this wall. That wall for some reason doesn't have collision outside, you can go straight through. Saves like a second. Go into here, jump onto this sofa, read this book. At least. Going all the way to the end of the corridor. We're going to need to do a lot of sprint, maintaining a sprint here. Sprint, man. Go here, we're going to mash the side of the piano. You can kind of get it from this side. Or you can just walk all the way around. So this interact hitbox is a bit good. Push the piano all the way in. Get the keys, get the fish. Nothing too bad. I'm going to sprint all the way back to my room. And then the fun part begins. I'm on here, eat this, and then you just gotta press E 3 times when all the prompts appear.
Now just 3 sips of water. 1, 2, 3.
So at this point, you can tell when the game stops loading by, the load symbol, and also your live split timer will start up again. It'll stop cutting loads out. At that point, you can start giving the cutscene and mash E to get up. And immediately for this ladder, I'm going to input the code. The code for the animals is always the same. It's a rabbit, bear, bird, and fox. You'll eventually kind of remember what order the animals are on these little tiny things. I don't remember the order, I just remember what animals come after other animals. When I see an animal before the one I need, I'm like, ah, that's the one. I need to turn it one more time.
3, 2.
Again, all the codes you need for the run, I'll leave in the description of all the videos. Yeah, so after this, we're going to match E to get up. The reason why we picked up extra slugs earlier, you're going to want to come over here because you're probably going to be low on health. You're going to pay for some food. Literally just so you can survive these guys. Bit of a safety precaution, so yeah, I can get quite a bit of damage from them. Oh, your pipe should still have a charge from earlier. This save happens to not have a charge. So you can just go straight to the, straight and turn off the thing. It should have a charge all the way back from when we got rid of the gent pipe. This is one of the 2 charges we have to use in the game. After you charge this, you want to come back, you want to charge up again. I might not have enough batteries. I do not. Problem, I'll screw more. Yep, if you followed the chapter 2 route correctly, you should have just batteries in it. But I don't happen to be playing on the right save. So after you power the thing down, get a charge. You're going to come behind you. You're going to look up, dash. You're going to essentially put your face right into the gent pipe upgrade, and then dash up, and you should get on it. You're going to crouch, and you're going to put it so your left leg is kind of covering this middle bit of the charge station, like the upgrade station. You're crouched. You're going to look up this way, and you're going to aim for like this pillar. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you what it looks like out of bounds. You're going to aim for this pillar. You're going to crouch jump, and you're going to flow when your head's through the wall. And if the environment would like to load, that would be lovely. Oh. Yeah, so you kind of... Oh, I don't even know where the pillar is from here. This pillar. So you're kind of aiming for like the top of this that you can see. Also, like, crouch jumping. Yeah. I can show it again. Press your face right up against it, you aim straight up, dash. You crouch, that your leg is kind of, your left leg's kind of covering the dent thing. You crouch jump until your cursor is over the kind of the right pillar of that like double pillar kind of support, and then you gotta flow. If you hold S as you come out a bit, you can land on this top bit, which is a bit faster, because you need to go onto this kind of square bit. If you kind of land down here or get stuck in this and come down here, you can flow up here. Again, for all these flows, you can save the game and reload, get the map quicker. I happen to have all the upgrades, so we'll go quick. There's a couple of ways of getting up here. I personally like to look this way and kind of dash up here, because this line is invisible from underneath, and so it's going to kind of take some trial and error to get used to whereabouts it is. But you'll eventually kind of get it. Or you could just warp straight up here. You want to land on this like thin bit. I'm gonna come up to here, so above the main room. I line up with this like black line in the ceiling. You're gonna sprint jump over here and immediately press flow after you jump. You should land on this edge. You're gonna walk this edge and jump down onto here. You can either flow over there, or you can make like a tricky strafe jump around. This, oh, I'm a bit stuck. There we go. If you ever get stuck in a wall, you can just kind of flow out. Come down here. We're going to aim for this, and I'm going to flow. Sometimes I find that the next area doesn't load properly, so you make a save here, just in case. So like, I like to poke my head through the wall, so that I loaded all the textures. You want to do this very slowly, so you don't like, go all the way through the wall and get stuck. I like to do that, because I tend to find that it makes the next area load properly. I'm going to run across here. I'm going to kind of, don't jump, but like fall down onto this. You're going to kind of hug the side of the wall. Without kind of doing what I've done. Duck. You can kind of walk this edge. And then enter through like this little corner bit. Come around through here. Hugging this wall and doing it like this should get that Ink Demon dialogue. If you don't get the Ink Demon dialogue, reload the save you made over there. Come back through. Really important you get that dialogue. Because now we're in the second section. So we skip the analyst fight. And we're in the area after the analyst fight and we have access to flow, which is going to be really important. I'm going to flow through that wall gap. Not get seen by this guy. I'm going to reload the save so I can do this quickly. I don't want to deal with showing the wrong cycle here. Yeah, so kind of poke your head so you get the textures. Blow up here. Down, fall down here. Kind of hug the wall so you get the trigger. And through here. Walk through the crawl space. Come back down here. Pull the switch. Activate this trigger.
This music box could make a good distraction if I can fix it.
Gonna warp up, blow up. This can be a little tricky. I like to stay like sprint, do on-off sprints till I get over here, and then like fully commit to a full sprint after me. If you're not feeling super confident, you can flow through here if you think it's gonna get you, and then just reload. Save. You're gonna grab this. You're gonna jump onto this bottle. Now, there's like two different ways of doing this. I don't know how to do both of them super consistently. You can either just do a crouch jump, and if you see the textures out of bounds loaded, like that, you can fully see all the textures. You can just warp out, right onto this. Or sometimes, I don't actually have to do it. It just happens sometimes for me. So this is probably, whichever one happens to happen whilst trying to get this. Sometimes I find that I tend to get stuck on like the cabinet door and have my head all like pushed into the ceiling permanently, like the first clip in chapter 2 we do. And essentially, if you can see the textures out of bounds, you can flow out of bounds. No matter what position or method you do to get it. I can't get the other one. Yeah, so we're going to flow into here, and then we're going to flow up, land on the edge. Jump across by jumping on this light and then across into this kind of second patchy square area. And then we're going to warp up and over this way, kind of over the arched roof. So we hit this second square section. And you should hit trigger, so you see this keep moving and that door open. You can also hear the door open, which is the better confirm. Then you're going to flow back over. We just need to hit the trigger of the door opening. We're going to jump across here. We're going to follow the edge and jump down to the spot where we first warp out to. And I'll come around here. I'm just going to go straight down through this ceiling. Here. Careful, sometimes the keeper will be in kind of this spot in the room. So just be careful sometimes when dropping through. Maybe wait a second, or, you know, play it carefully when you're going through there. And then we're going to find wherever the keeper is. I'm going to give him a nice old hug. Gives us a very convenient respawn point. If you get flow back, you can flow up here. You're unlikely to, so just take the ladder. Drop down, and we're going to fix the music box. Okay, so again, there's two different things you can do here. I'm going to show a couple of different ways of doing this. There's placing the music box down and not placing the music box down. Faster to not put the music box down, but harder. And there's two kind of ways you can do this. You can play it super safe. If you happen to get enough slugs during the run, if you happen to get some extras, you can get some food here. Which is kind of like a safety strat. You don't always have that many. Sorry, have that much slugs. If you don't want to take extra damage when coming down here, you kind of run across this edge and then kind of slowly descend yourself down this light on these pillars. So for the two methods, I'm going to save. Either way, not either way. So if you're going to do the skip, you're going to put your power this down because you have to. It's one of the two ones. I sometimes make a save here, but you also get an auto save powering that down. This is probably going to be very trial and error. I can't exactly say where I flow here. I know where I aim, but you kind of walk a certain distance and then flow. So it's something you trial and error and you should get the hang of. You kind of crouch walk around this pillar, up to this guy, and about... No, it's a bit... Oh, I should have loaded the autosave. Too distracted talking to do it, I'll just do it. But about there, you float. I kind of aim like the kind of texture decoration in the wall. You get an autosave here, which is nice. And as soon as you pull this, you want to stand up and sprint. That gets the keepers to move a bit towards you whilst you're in that alcove, but then flow through here to be safe. It's important that you kind of get their attention immediately, so that once you jump around like the barrier thing, I'll reload and show. Now, once you run around the barrier thing, they've come into the alcove a bit, and they're less likely to kill you whilst you're going down this path. You see, I still got hit there. They didn't come through the alcove enough, or I took a bad line. You could also flow at the start here to try and avoid them a bit. Honestly, it might be smarter. Yeah, kind of figure out what works for you by doing this over and over again. If you can't get the hang of it, or you don't want to do it, just come and place the music box down.
Here goes nothing.
Through this way. Make sure you hug this wall, otherwise they might be able to see you. Power this down whilst they're moving. Jump over and just power it down and go on your day normally. That's much easier, but it's slower. Anyway, once you've finished with that, we're nearly done with big scary skips. We've only got one skip left to do, and then it's just plain gameplay. You're gonna come into here. You're gonna like kind of wedge yourself up against the edge of the door, and you're gonna warp up on top of the door. Crouch. I need to be kind of towards the end of the door, so see, like I almost kind of slope down a bit towards the end. So you can kind of like the freedom to jump, get crouch jump. You want to aim over here, and once you head through the wall, you want to flow, so you go through. That wasn't bad for me. So you jump, then either you can kind of like try and land on like the edge here, Or if you're like me, you're just gonna fully just go straight for the fall. So, you know, overshoot and then fall onto this like roof. You know, you can either fall into like this roof, or here, you just fall into this tunnel. Run across the tunnel, make sure you're holding like dead straight down the tunnel, because the textures deload. You're gonna get to the end of the tunnel so that you can see like textures load in. You're gonna sprint jump to this second colour, like rod, like here. Make a safety save, and you need to try and like float up to the next section. It's not going to be loaded, so you're going to have to like keep your bearings about where it is. Yeah, I recommend making a safety save. You can dash across. Texture's not loaded for me now, so I can't tell if I'm straight. Right, you can keep going, and then you'll hit another one of these. Again, you're just going to jump to the closest, but then you can actually see the door this time, so you know which one you're aiming. Just going to aim straight up, like up at an angle. You know, walk forwards until you get to this room. I'll walk across this. Yeah, and then you're kind of going to warp up and towards this way, kind of aiming to land on this weird texture bit here. Or you can land on top of the wall. So run through, and you can kind of jump and get down into this room. I can do that all in one clean go. I just saw what it's like. Yeah, so it's not that bad. And that's it. That's the last skip of the run. And now it's just all about gameplay. This is another room that's quite prone to not loading, so again you can like pause buffer to make it load. Can flow into this cutscene, doesn't matter. I'm going to make a quick save before this so I can show, just in case I mess up showing it. So I do a very specific route for the first phase of this boss fight that I'll show and try and explain at the same time. So immediately after you skip the cutscene, you're going to run to the left and stand in front of this. You get fully healed when you enter this boss fight, so it doesn't matter. Get hit. When I'm to break that, you're going to get this, and you're going to get electric charge. You run to this one, let him hit you, and immediately you should charge on it. You're going to walk straight behind you to the last one, the fourth one. You're going to let him hit it. You're going to get another charge, and you can immediately activate the next one. You can activate any of these you want now in any order, but make sure you're getting the 3 hits at the start is really important. And then you're going to deal with these. They kind of alternate which ones they spawn from. There will always be 5. 3 of them come from this one first, and 2 from that one, and then it swaps. It's 3 from the other and 2 from the other. And I'm just going to hit these last 2. Again, 3 will come from that direction, 2 will come from this direction. Oh no, it was 3 that time as well. Ignore me. I can't count. So he will always charge immediately after being unstunned. You can always stay close to him, so that when he charges, when he does like that kind of, when he's finished charging, he does like the lunge, you can flow out the way. And it saves him time from charging across the entire room when he does a charge. Yeah. You don't want to stand too close or he will just swipe you. Once he's done 3 here, you want to kind of go over here. He's automatically walking towards the center point. Once it does all his swing, you can flow in. As soon as he like starts wriggling his arms back and forth, that's when you know you can start hitting him. I like to bait him over here first, to this side, to this corner. Charge until he swings. And then I bait him back towards this wall. Like this. And I stand about here. To bait him to coming to the center. You know, it's all about just minimizing how long he takes to walk. See, he'll start wiggling his arms back and forth, or like flailing. That's what you need to do it, and then just rinse and repeat what you did for the last round here. Bait him over until he swings. Bait him over until he swings. And once that's wiggling his arms, you hit him, and then you skip 3 cutscenes in a row. I mean, once you enter the boss fight here, you pretty much know that the run is done. Did the last out of bounds section. You know, all of this is very easy. Especially this last Bendy section. Then again, you can skip this cutscene. You're going to hold sprint to run with him. You want to aim a little, you want to press the attack button a little early for these. Because when Bendy attacks, if you're running, he will like slide a bit into his attack animation. So you can break these a little faster. Yeah, if you can do the right-click slam attack whilst you're waiting for the doors to open if you want. Alright, it's essentially free sailing from here. I guess you could lose a second or two to bad movement. And there's, you know, it shouldn't be too bad. Just one more door you have to zip through.
Dead end. Now what?
Need some help?
Henry, you came.
Some battles are worth fighting for, even in medium times. Come on, I found a projector up ahead. Run for it.
So, all that's left to do is to run up. You're gonna press E on the thing, and time ends when Bendy like goes from standing upright to being like hunched over. You know, spam E here and hunches over. Oh, that's time. So, some of the out of bounds sections can be a little tricky, and especially the chapter 2 paintings room, which at the time of me recording chapter 4 or 5 part here, there's another event skip in chapter 2 start, which I'll leave a link for in the description. because I found it after recording the first parts. Don't want to go back and re-record them, so I'll just leave a separate guide description.